Today I'm working with Golden Fine Pumice Gel to create a functional finger labyrinth. In addition to fine pumice gel, I'll also be using an ampersand 4x4-inch gesso board, a 4-inch Labyrinth stencil from Stencil Girl, a number 8 black pearl flat brush from Silver, some fluid transparent iron oxide, it's another golden color, and some Infusions by Paper Artsy in the color called Limoncello. Fine pumice gel dries to a hard film. It mixes well with any of the golden acrylic colors, and you can tint this gel by adding color while it's wet before you apply it, and you can paint it after it's dried. I'm going to distress the surface of this gesso board just a little bit with a coarse sanding block. These Museum Series gesso boards are semi-smooth, semi-absorbent surfaces that are excellent for oil or acrylic painting. Next, I'm going to apply the fine pumice gel through the stencil with a palette knife. I load the underside of the palette knife, line up the stencil, and then gently push the gel through the open areas. I start getting a little fussy here. I want to make sure that I get it in all the open areas, and then I scrape off the excess, put it back. The dry time varies depending on the application thickness and your climate. It's February in Ohio, and the application is about 1 millimeter, and it took about 20 minutes to dry. So now for the color. This is called transparent iron oxide. You can tell from the cap it's a fluid, and that's the consistency of like a heavy cream. And you can see how transparent it is painted over those black lines. I'm using the transparent iron oxide straight out of the bottle, and I'm just brushing it all over the surfaces. You can see the pumice gel is a raised area with a slightly different color than the gesso looks. I like how the color looks over that grayish pumice gel. So I apply a thin coat, and I'm not terribly worried about getting an even coat because I'm going to add more product and I'm working toward a distressed look. Okay, looks like I'm getting a little fussy here. Paint the edge. And I poked a little hole in this lid so that I can tap small amounts out onto the labyrinth. Infusions are water-soluble particles with two different components, a fine permanent dye color pigment mixed with a walnut crystal particle, and those two react with water at different rates. So you'll see instant color, and then a little bit later a brown base will slowly develop as the walnut crystal dissolves. So I'm using the brush. I wet my brush, so I'm applying some water here and there just to kind of see what happens. So you can see some of those crystals start to bloom. Getting an interesting effect. And this is the second one I did. The first one came out a little bit differently, and you'll see that one at the end of the video. So I'm applying more water now. And then once I get everything kind of activated, I can tilt that to kind of move those puddles around and get more condensed areas of color here and there. You can also get a paper towel or a cloth and kind of blot off little bits here and there. And it picks up the paint differently from the gel than the gesso, so you can get all kinds of different fun effects with it. So you can spritz it with water. I liked that effect, and you can see how that pumice gel right in the middle kind of is a lot lighter than the rest of it, so that kind of caught my eye, and now I'm just faffing with it, removing and adding color. I finally settle on this, and that's with a lot of intense color. And here's the original one. You can see lots of little scratchy areas on there, but it feels amazing to touch the dried pumice gel. It's really smooth and satisfying. So thank you for watching me today, and you can have a look at the coarse and extra coarse pumice gels from the link below. And as always, there's an amazing video library at goldenartistcolors.com and valuable articles about all things art at justpaint.org.